Hi everyone, this is Tracy Tressiter here, and I am the lecturer for Health and Lifespan Development, subject number 92524. So welcome to the Health and Lifespan subject for this semester. It is a fairly full-on subject with lots of interesting things to learn, and I'm here really to help you and support you through this semester to help you understand why it is you're studying this particular subject. So what's the purpose of this? How do you apply the theory of what you're learning through lifespan development into the practical application of whatever it is you want to do in your health and science degree, health and exercise and sports science degree? So what I'm going to do is just give you a very quick rundown through the course outline, and I will just touch on the main points which most people are interested in, which is really the assessments, so to see what's due and when, and what I'm expecting of you. So I've got up on the screen here, hopefully you can see the course outline on one side and the UTS online Blackboard landing page on the other. And just a couple of things with the course. My name and email address is just here. My phone number is there as well, and that's there mainly for you to contact me at the if there's an emergency, for example, when you're completing the quizzes, which you do online, and I'll explain those in greater detail in the tutorials, and you can send me a text message using that number. And my email address if you need to get in contact with me. The key thing about my email address is that you spell my name correctly, because it's spelling sensitive, and if you put an E in and you don't spell my surname correctly, then I won't get the email. So I try to respond within 24 hours, and if you haven't heard from me within 48, then email me again, and if you haven't heard from me again, then send me a text message and then I'll get it. Sometimes I have the UTS email forwarded to my private email, and it doesn't always come through. So if you don't hear from me within 48 hours, send me a text message and I'll double check. So as far as the course outline is concerned, what we're looking at is, I'm not going to read all this, you can read all that, but basically a week-to-week breakdown of what we're doing. Now, a couple of things here that are really quite important. One is that you are expected each week to do some preparation for the lecture and or the tutorial. So there are readings that are required, and there are also some questions that I'd like you to think about and answer. You don't have to write the answers, but I'd like you to think about them. Also, there's an expectation that the weeks that you are required to take a couple of assessments, one around strength and another one around personalities, is that you actually complete those and you bring the results of that to the tutorial, because we'll be using those particular results, your personal results around what are your strengths, and also your personal results around what is your personality, based on the Big Five personality assessment, which will in more detail throughout the course. But you do need to bring those results to the class, and if you turn up, you will be marked absent, but you do need to attend, basically. So my suggestion is that you complete the assessments. Most of them only take around about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And the work that we do in the class around these assessments is really to help you understand yourself better, and then how do you use that information going forward in the work that you might want to do. So that's quite important. The text for this particular subject is called Lifespan Development, and this is a sample of the text. It is the 3rd edition, and you will need to purchase a copy of that, either as a printed textbook or as an e-text, and I will be referring to it on a regular basis, and you will need to do readings from it. And the first lot of assessments, which are quizzes, will be coming from the textbook, basically. So you'll need it. I can't imagine how you could really potentially pass the quizzes if you don't have the textbook with you. A lot of it will be covered during the lectures, but this is a fairly information dense course, so there's a lot of information. I try to sift out what I believe is important for you, and and then and leave the rest aside. So you don't have to read the whole textbook, but there'll be certain sections that I do want you to read. So this first week is the introductory week, which is why we're not face to face. On so next week, the 26th of July, you'll be able to access the information online. And the second week, the 2nd of August, we will meet face to face. So we'll have a 2-hour lecture and then we'll have a series of tutorials. You will need to ensure that you come to the tutorial that you are allocated. This is a very full class and the tutorial rooms are packed and there is usually no spare seats. So you can't just lob into a particular class hoping that you'll get a seat in there. So you need to come to the class that you are allocated. If you want to change classes, it's really up to you to negotiate with a student in another tutorial if you can swap with them. So see how that goes. Anyway, the course outline continues on through all the various weeks with the information around what the pre-class activity is, whether I want you to watch a video or read a text or read an article, which we'll talk about in the tutorial, and then a little bit of information on what's going on in the tutorial. So it's all pretty self-explanatory and pretty straightforward. Let me get through to the assessment section, which is always the one that people want to get to. Here we go. So the quizzes, there are 3 quizzes. Each one is worth 10%. They will be in weeks 2, 4 and 6. That's the wrong one. Okay, the quizzes are actually in weeks 3, 5 and 7. Don't know why that one's there. And you will have the right one on the website. So weeks 3, 5 and 7. And then there's also a reflective journal or reflective journal / essay that you'll need to write towards the end of the semester, due in October, and I will give you all the information about that you'll need to complete that. We'll talk about that quite extensively in the couple of weeks beforehand. You will need to interview somebody in the late adulthood age group, and once again we'll talk about that in more depth towards the end of closer to when it's due. The final assessment is a 100 question multiple choice exam that will be held in exam week, and it will be based on the second half of the semester. So not everything, not the whole semester, just the second half, because I know this is a very knowledge intense, dense course, and so I'm not expecting you to learn and remember everything. So we just base the final assessment on the last half of the semester, and it's what we call a case study exam, which means that you have rather than just question with answers, it's more of a presentation of an example of somebody in that particular life span and a question based on something that you've learned relevant to that person in the lifespan. So it's more of a case study. That's about it really for the course outline. Let me just whip over here to the UTS Online, and I think the key one here is the subject documents page. So each week I will put up literally at the beginning of the week, probably on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, somewhere in there, I'll put up the folder which has the information in it. So for example, in week 1, I'm expecting you to have a look at chapter 1 and chapter 2. These are the PowerPoints from those 2 chapters, and also a short YouTube clip with me literally explaining those, so talking you through as if we were in a lecture. And then chapter 3 or chapter 2, I've actually given a very short summary, only 3 minutes, so just a very quick one. And as you can see, the slides are attached. And then there's just a few questions for you to think about, which I will ask in the tutorial. So that's pretty well it as far as the course outline and the setup for this semester goes. I'm really looking forward to working with you and supporting you through health and lifespan development. And if you have any questions, you can send me an email, Tracy, Tracy, .Tresider, TRESIDDER @uts.edu.au. And other than that, I look forward to meeting you on the first week in August for our first lecture. Okay, great. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.